So before we start, reading the shloka of Bhagavad Gita, I would like to hear from you, what is Bhagavad Gita? As per you, what do you think is Bhagavad Gita? Yes, that is true. Anything else? Okay, so basically Bhagavad Gita is a part of our Vedic scriptures. So we have our Vedic scriptures, mainly compiled or written by Vedvyas. And out of that, there's something called Itihas, history, where we have Ramayana and Mahabharata. And Bhagavad Gita is a part of Mahabharata, right? It's from chapter 25 to chapter 42 is what Bhagavad Gita, 18 chapters are being said. And what are our other Vedic literatures or scriptures? Anyone? Yes, that comes under Puran. Vedas, yes. So we have Vedas. We have four Ved, right? We have Rig Ved, yes. Yajurved, Atharved, and Samved. So we have Vedas, that is one. Yeah. Then we have Puran, and as Mataji said, Srimad Bhagavatam is one of the Purans. Similarly, we have Shiv Puran, we have Vishnu Puran, we have Pad Puran, we have 18 Purans with us, right? Then we have Upanishad. We have 108 Upanishad. Then we have Itihas. In Itihas, we have Ramayana and Mahabharata, right? And then we have Vedanta and few others, right? So now we are going to read Bhagavad Gita, right? So Bhagavad Gita, it is basically, Gita means song, and Bhagavad means of God. Yeah. So this is a song of God. That is what we are going to read. And that is spoken by Krishna. Yeah. So it consists of 700 shloks. It has 700 shlok. Out of that 700 shlok, around 574 shlok has been spoken by Krishna. There are four people who actually speak in Gita. It is Krishna, it is Arjuna, it is Dhritarashtra, and it is Sanjay, right? So 574 has been spoken by Krishna, and around 84 by Arjun, 41 by Sanjay, and only one by Dhritarashtra. That's what we will start with as the starting of Bhagavad Gita. Now, my next question is, I wanted to talk about the Gita Mahatmya. I think Rupa knows it very well, and she had been singing always the glories of Gita by Shankaracharya. Yeah. So why are we starting with Gita? Why not with any other book? We can start with something else, right? So in Glories of Gita, written by Shankaracharya, the 6th slok of Glories of Gita says, Sarvo Upanishad Gavo, Dugdha Gopal Nandana, Partho Vatsa, Sudhir Bhokta, Dugdham Gitamritam Mahat. This is the 6th slok. And the meaning of this is that the Gita Upanishad, the Bhagavad Gita, is the essence of all Upanishad. It is the essence of all Upanishad. And it's just like a cow, and it is being milked by Lord Krishna himself. It is milked by Lord Krishna himself. And who is the calf because of which the milk is coming out? It is Arjun, Parth. Parth is the name of Arjun. So Parth is the calf. And whichever devotees and learned people who are listening to it, they are the Sudhi, the learned people who are trying to read Bhagavad Gita, they are actually enjoying the nectar of Bhagavad Gita. They're enjoying the nectar of this beautiful essence of all the Upanishads. Okay, that's the reason why if you want to start if you are in the spiritual journey, the first book that you must learn is Bhagavad Gita, because it's the foundation of our spiritual journey. Okay, then next is, when was Bhagavad Gita spoken? Battlefield of Kurukshetra. Yeah, but I wanted to bring some more points to that. So basically, yes, it was spoken on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, but what actually had happened was, it was Arjun, the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, where Arjun is basically, looking at the armies. He's totally confused. And in the beginning, he's all ready to fight. But at the end of the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, he puts down his bows and arrows, and he says, I cannot fight. I just cannot fight, and I'm losing all my composure, and I just want to run away. I want to go from here, Krishna. I don't want to fight. Yeah. And then in the second chapter, basically the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna starts speaking. Only in the first chapter is spoken 4 letters, 4 words. Otherwise, it's a second chapter from which Krishna starts speaking Gita to the knowledge to Arjun. Yeah. So when Arjun is totally confused and he is given away, we know that the Arjun is the greatest of the warrior, right? And now he has put down his Gandhi and he's saying, no, I cannot fight. And it is that time when Krishna speaks Bhagavad Gita. And in the end, in the last chapter, the 18th chapter, he again comes back and say, Krishna, I have understood and I'm going to fight now. So Gita gives us the life lessons, right? Now my question to you, next question is, this happened some 5,000 years ago in Kurukshetra, and it's between the war that's happening. Is it still relevant for us to read Bhagavad Gita? Why? Excellent, excellent. Bhagavad Gita is as relevant to us today and will be in future as it was 5,000 years ago, because Bhagavad Gita is not a story about, it is a life lesson. All of us get confused and we are in our, crossroads in our life and we don't know where to go. At that point of time, if you have read Gita, I can bet you that any problem that you have in your life, you can find the solution in Bhagavad Gita. Yeah. So it tells us, the first thing that it tells us, who am I? Who are we? Who am I? What is the goal of our life? What should be the goal of our life? And why bad things happens to good people? It's always a question, right? Why me? Why me, right? Why bad things happens to good people? How should we live our life? Basically, it's a life lesson. It's a life lesson. And Bhagavad Gita should be read by everyone because it really tells you how you should live your life, right? So it's as relevant to us today as it was some 5,000 years ago. Yeah. Now, what are the core concepts in Bhagavad Gita? Yeah. So if you look at Bhagavad Gita, there are 18 chapters in Bhagavad Gita. The core concepts, we'll talk about 5 things that we learn in Bhagavad Gita. One is Ishvara, God, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's what will be clear by end of the reading of Bhagavad Gita. Then Jeev, the spirit soul. Yeah, we, the spirit soul. That's what we learn about. Prakriti, the material modes of nature. Why in the same situation, in the same condition, one person reacts in one way, but the other person reacts in a different way. Sometimes we wonder, why is this person reacting like this? It should not have been, because each of us are different, and because of the material modes of nature. Yeah, so that's what we'll read in detail. Then we'll read about Kal. Time is not today, tomorrow, but it's about the cosmic time from the beginning till the end. We'll be reading that. Then we'll be learning about karma. Why what is happening to us today, why it's happening. Yeah, it's basically the results of our past activities. Yeah, so we'll read in detail. We'll slowly know about that in detail. So, once we get exposed to all these things, we can very well rationalize, okay, and we know why it's happening and what is the remedy, what we should do, right? So these are the 5 core concepts that we'll be reading in Bhagavad Gita. Apart from that, Bhagavad Gita, the entire Bhagavad Gita, it talks about yoga. So what is yoga? What is yoga? Yoga, yes. So yoga is not the physical activities which, the yoga that is famous today in the world, but yoga is basically connection to God. The meaning of the word yoga is connecting to God. And it talks about 4 types of yoga in Bhagavad Gita. One is the Karma Yoga, then the Jnana Yoga, then the Dhyana Yoga, or Ashtanga Yoga, and the Bhakti Yoga. These are the 4 yogas we will be actually reading in Bhagavad Gita. And Gita, as per Gita, it summarizes that Bhakti Yoga is the highest, right? Now, Gita has 18 chapters and it is divided into 3 parts. The first 6 chapters is for Karma Yoga and also covers a bit of Dhyan Yoga there. From 7th to 12th chapter is basically Bhakti Yoga. 7th to 12th chapter is Bhakti Yoga, and 13th to 18th chapter is basically Karma Yoga. Yeah. One of the previous acharyas, he has compared this chapter, this whole, to a jewel box. He has compared the Bhagavad Gita to a jewel box. He says that the bottom of the box, yeah, which is like the first 6 chapter of Bhagavad Gita, of a jewel box, the bottom of in which it's holding is like the Karma Yoga. The top lid, which is from 13th to 18th chapter, is basically the Gyan Yoga. And the jewel that you put inside the jewel, that is from 7th to 12th chapter. That is Bhakti Yoga. This is how it has been defined by one of the acharyas. Now, with not much ado, I will move to the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Everyone has the book? So observe the chapter 1. It's called Observing the Armies on the Battlefield of Kurukshetra. Yeah. So this is the first chapter which talks about observing the armies on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. And those who are online, I'll be sharing the screen with all the shloka and answers. So in case you don't have the book, it's fine. We'll be going through all the shlokas and we'll be reading from there. You'll be able to see from my screen and we can do from there. Yeah. In Hindi, it's called Arjun Vishad Yoga. The chapter 1 is called Arjun Vishad Yoga. And to me, it makes more sense because that is what happens in the chapter 1. You know, in the end, it is Arjun's Vishad. Vishad is he is like, what did you say? Dejection. Yeah, dejection. Yeah, that's true. So now, before we start again, chapter 1, I'll take some time so that all of us are on the same page. Why did the war happen? The war happened, right? The Mahabharat happened, right? So now, api thara jaye na? Yeah, I'll just say, yeah. So the question is, why did the war happen? Yes. So let me brief all of us so that all of us are on the same page. It is more than 5,000 years ago. In Kuru dynasty, there were two sons who were born. One was Duryodhana, one was Dhritarashtra. He was the elder son and he was blind by birth. We all know the story. And the younger son was Pandu. He was weak but very dharmic. Yeah. Now, Dhritarashtra, who was blind, his wife was Gandhari, and he had 100 sons, which are commonly called Kauravas, right? And the younger son Pandu, his wife was Kunti and Madri, and he had 5 sons, which are commonly called Pandavas. Yeah. Now, Pandu was very, very dharmic, and when they both grew, what happened was Pandu, because Dhritarashtra was blind by birth, he was not given the throne of Hastinapur, but Pandu was given the throne of Hastinapur. But Pandu was least interested. He gave the throne to Dhritarashtra. In his care, he left the throne, and he, along with his wife, went to forest. And there, what happened is Pandu died at a very, very young age, and he had 5 sons. And Kunti, along with the 5 sons, came back. She was queen. She came back to Hastinapur. And at that point of time, Dhritarashtra was taking care of the throne. And in his guidance, basically both Kauravas and Pandavas, they grew up. They both grew up and they both had a common teacher who was called Dronacharya. Dronacharya was the teacher of Kauravas and Pandavas. And he taught them all the military training, and everything was taught by Dronacharya to them. Now the Kauravas was very, very jealous of Pandavas. Pandavas, by right, Yudhishthira was supposed to be the king of Hastinapur, but Dhritarashtra could not take it, Duryodhana could not take it, and Duryodhana and Kauravas, they always tried to kill the Pandavas. Always. They tried to poison Bhim, they tried to put Lakshagriha, they put the fire in Lakshagriha. They always tried to kill the Pandavas, right? But by God's grace, by Krishna's mercy and the grace, they always got saved. And finally, they both grew up. And then Dhritarashtra decided that there was some barren land, forest, somewhere in the corner. He said, okay, let Yudhishthira, why don't you go there and build up your palace there? All Pandavas, you go there and stay there. Because he wanted them to be away from the Hastinapur throne. Hastinapur is today's Delhi. In that area is Hastinapur. Yeah, he said you go there. And what did happen was, because they always were, they were very dharmic, very religious, very nice people. Always God helped them, and they created a very huge, beautiful palace there. And when they created the palace, they invited the Kauravas to visit that palace. Now, Duryodhana and all seeing the palace, they got extremely angry. It was a Mayavi palace. It was actually made by Vishwakarma, God. And what happened to the Mayavi, like it looked like it's a water, but actually the land just looked like a water. So it was beautiful. And Duryodhana got very, very, jealous. And he in turn invited them back to his palace in Hastinapur. Yeah. Now, when they were invited them, Duryodhana was very evil-minded, very adharmic, and always he was supported by Dhritarashtra because they wanted the Pandavas to get to, they were not, they wanted to kill the Pandavas. So what happened was here, Duryodhana and Duryodhana along with Shakuni, they royally cheated Pandavas to the extent they took away everything from. They were playing the game of this dice. I think all of you know the story, and they took away everything from Pandavas to the extent even his wife Draupadi, and the Draupadi was brought in the Rajmahal, and they had lost Draupadi, and she was brought in the in the palace to the extent that they derobed Draupadi there in front of Bhishma Pitama, Dronacharya, everyone was sitting, but no one raised any voice. And what happened was, once this happened, they still didn't leave it here. Krishna saved Draupadi. Yeah, always remember the devotees. If you're a true devotee, Krishna will always be there to save you. And Krishna saved Draupadi. We all know the story. And finally, Duryodhana even sent them for Vanvas, for 13 years of exile. Out of that, 12 years was like, they can roam around anywhere. But the 13th year was Agyatvas. It means they should not be recognized by anyone. If they are found who they are, wherever they are, they have to again go for 13 years of exile. Now, after 13 years, successfully completing 13 years of exile, they came back. Pandavas came back and asked back for their kingdom. Now, Duryodhana said, forget it. I'm not going to give you anything. Don't expect anything from me. Okay. Now, they said, okay, fine. They were always forgiving, very good, very dharmic. Everything was good about the Pandavas. They said, fine. At least give me 5 villages. We will survive. He said, forget about 5 villages. I will not even give you a land equivalent to the point of a needle. I'm not going to give you anything. And then a war was declared. Now, when the war was declared, Krishna knew, no, this war means the entire thing will collapse. It will finish. So he went as a peace messenger from Pandava's side to Kauravas, to Duryodhana, requesting for a tie-up. Forget it. You give 5 villages, Pandavas are happy, let's finish it off. Duryodhana did not agree. He said, no, war has to happen. He was very sure that with Bhishma Pitama and Dronacharya on his side, he's going to win the war. And Pandavas, they don't even have anything. They don't even have any land. Who will fight for them? Forget it. And they both went to Krishna, asking when the war was declared, then now nothing, they didn't agree. So the war was declared. And they went to Krishna asking to help them. So Arjun was sitting near the leg of the foot of Krishna, and Duryodhana was sitting near the head of Krishna. And Duryodhana had come first and Arjun had come second. So when Krishna woke up, he was sleeping. When he woke up, he saw Arjun first. Duryodhana said, no, I have come first. How can you ask Krishna how can you ask Arjun? But still, he said, no, I have seen Arjun first. I'll ask him what he wants. He said, we want you in the war. So he said, okay, then on one side it will be me, and other side is all my armies. And I'm not going to raise weapon. I'm not going to touch weapon. What do you want? Arjun said, I want you. He said, are you sure? Yeah, I want you. And Duryodhana was very happy. What will Krishna do alone? He has nothing. Good. Arjun is stupid. He has taken Krishna. I have got the entire army. So he was very happy and he went back. There was a saying, whenever the elders are there, you should never sit near the head. We should always sit near the leg of elders. This is a teaching from this story. Yeah. You should never sit near the head of elders. Yeah. So this is now the war has happened, and the war is happening in a place called Kurukshetra, which is 300 kilometers away from Delhi, Hastinapur. It's happening there. And both the armies are standing, right? And this is how the first shloka of Gita starts, the first chapter 1. Please open that. Dhritarashtra vacha dharma kshetre kurukshetre samveta yutsava mamakaha pandavas chaiva imma kuruvat sanjaya. Now we'll go to the meaning. Dhritarashtra, we all know Dhritarashtra, who is he? Uvach is said. Uvach is said. Dharmkshetre. Dharmkshetra is the holy place. Dharmkshetra is the holy place, the place of pilgrimage. Kurukshetra. Where is the war happening? War is happening in Kurukshetra, right? Dharmkshetra, Kurukshetra. The Kurukshetra is the Dharmkshetra, right? It's defined as the Dharmkshetra. Samveta. Samveta means assembled. Samveta means assembled. Yutsava. Yutsava means to fight. Why have they assembled? To fight. Mamaka. Mamaka means mine. Pandavas Chaiva. In Sanskrit, Cha means and. Cha means and. And Pandava. And son of Pandava. Kim Akurvat Sanjay. What did they do? Kim means what? Akurvat means did they? Sanjay. Oh Sanjay, what did they do? Now Sanjay is the assistant of Dhritarashtra. Now they are sitting in Hastinapur, which is in Delhi. And Kurukshetra is 300 kilometers away from Delhi. And the war is happening there. How can Sanjay say what's happening? Any answers to it? Yes, yes. So he had the divine vision. How he had the divine vision? He was given the divine vision by Vedvyas. Vedvyas had blessed him. Vedvyas knew that this is going to happen. He had blessed Sanjay with the divine vision, because of which sitting there, he could see what's happening in Kurukshetra and tell Dhritarashtra, give a running commentary, just like we watch in TV what's happening. Okay? So Dhritarashtra Vacha, so that's how he's asking Sanjay, Kim Akurvat, what happened? What happened? Dharmkshetra Kurukshetra. In Kurukshetra, which is a place, which is a holy place, which is a place of pilgrimage, where my son and son of Pandavas, they have assembled. Why they have assembled? To fight. What did they do? Now, what a question. When they have assembled to fight, what will they do? They'll fight, right? But there's a very deep meaning in this question. It is not just Kim Akurvat Sanjay. Now, why there's a deep meaning? It's the first word of this sloka, which says Dharmkshetra, which says Dharmkshetra. Now, Kurukshetra is a very, very special place. It is, the name of the Kurukshetra has also come from Kuru dynasty. There was a very, very great king called Kuru in the Kauravas dynasty, in whose name the Kauravas dynasty is there. He was so great. He had done so many sacrifices. He had done so many, yagya, and he had done in such a way that this whole place was actually blessed. That nothing adharm can happen here. This is a holy place, and anyone that goes there will have the influence of the holy on that holiness on that place. Now, Dhritarashtra knew this very well because it is his ancestors. Yeah, to the extent when Parshuram, he had killed the armies. He had killed Kshatriya 21 times. He was asked to go to Kurukshetra and do penance to get resolved from the sins he has done. So Kurukshetra is known to be a very, very holy place. Now, Dhritarashtra, knowing this, he is worried that, oh, my sons are very evil. My sons are very adharmi. He very well knows that he had been always, and he also very well knows that Pandavas are very, very dharmic. And not only that, they have Krishna with them. He is the father of dharma with them. So he is worried it should not happen that my son, after going there, they get influenced because of the place. And they decide that, okay, they compromise. He doesn't want a compromise. He wants to fight and he wants Pandavas to die. Right? He's also worried. He's hoping that maybe because Pandavas are so dharmic and they go to that place, because of the place, they may become more dharmic and they may forgive my sons, and the war may not happen and my sons will enjoy the kingdom. So all these, because it is a dharm kshetra, that's the first word of the Gita is dharm kshetra. Because it is a dharm kshetra, all these things are coming to his mind. And he's asking, Kim Akurvat Sanjaya. At the same time, there's something more to be seen here about his selfishness, which is from the word called Mamakaha Pandavas Chaiva. My sons and Pandavas sons. This also shows his mentality. Now, we all know that Pandu had two wives, Kunti and Madri. And the three sons were from Kunti and the two sons were from Madri, which is Yudhishthir, Arjuna and Bhim. They were from Kunti, and Nakul and Sahadeva were Madri. But we all know that they were Kunti's sons. We never know that they were Madri's sons, right? Everyone knows that so she has accepted. It is her greatness that she, this is how a family should be. And then the family rises. But now he's saying he's so selfish. Mamaka, all are Kauravas. Basically, they all belong to Kuru dynasty. So whether it's Pandava or Kaurava, both are Kuru. So it's both are Kauravas. But then he's very clearly saying, my sons are Kauravas. So they belong to the, that they have the rights to the throne, and they are Pandavas. They're separating it out. Yeah. So this shows his also mentality, right? So we go to the next shlok. Sanjay Vacha Drishtavatu Pandavanikam Yudham Duryodhanasthada Acharyam Upasangamya Raja Vachnam Abravit. So now here Sanjay Vach. Vach means said. Yeah. Once we start repeating the same words, we'll start knowing those words. So try to learn those words in Sanskrit when we speak, right? So now Sanjay said, what did he say? Drishtva. It's a very common word. Drishtva means drishti. Look, see. Drishtva too, but what saying? Pandava Anikam. Anikam means soldiers of the Pandavas. Anikam means the soldiers. Whose soldiers? The Pandavas Nikam. Pandava Anikam. Anikam is soldier. Drishtva tu Pandava Anikam. Looking at the soldiers of Pandavas. Clear? Yeah. Yudham Duryodhanas tada. Tada means then. Tada means, it's a very common word. Tada, cha. So I'll be keeping that. So you'll start noticing those words then. Tada means then. Duryodhan, we know Duryodhan is Duryodhan. Yudham means the soldiers of Pandav. Yudham means the way they were arranged. The way the military was arranged. Yudham means the arrangement of the military. Yudham, Duryodhan is the Acharyam Upsangamya. Acharya who? Acharya is Dronacharya. Dronacharya was the commander-in-chief for Kauravas army. He was the commander-in-chief for Kauravas, right? Upasangamya. Upsangam means he went. Upsangamya Raja. Here Raja is for Duryodhan. The word Raja is used here. Vachan is words. Abravit. Abravit means said. Sanjay said, O king, after looking over the army arranged in military formation by the sons of Pandu, King Duryodhan went to his teacher and spoke the following words. Now quickly we'll look into the summary of this chapter, the first chapter that we are seeing. I will also show it in PowerPoint so that you know so the first shlok is the inquiry by Dhritarashtra, right? Now from the second shlok to 11th shlok is the fear and diplomacy of Duryodhan. The word Raja has been used. Raja, because he's not the king yet, but he's a great politician. That is why the word Raja has been used for Duryodhan, because he's a great politician, and we'll see his diplomacy in this from second shlok to 11th shlok. Yeah, this is what. So now he is actually looking at the armies of Pandavas, and then he'll look at his army and he'll talk. That's from 2nd to 11th. Then from 12th shlok to 19th shlok, it's a blowing of conch shell. Shankhnad. Yeah, Shank means the declaration of war, right? That is what is from 12th shlok to 19th shlok. From 20th shlok to 27th shlok, Arjun will say, although war is starting, he says, wait, I want to now see the army. At that time, Duryodhan saw the army. Now he wants to observe the armies. And when he sees the army, from 28th shlok to 46th shlok, he will give 4 reasons why he doesn't want to fight to Krishna. Yeah, this is what the summary of the whole chapter is. There are 46 shlokes in the chapter, and this is what is going to happen in this chapter. This is basically context setting. Second chapter onwards, Krishna will speak. Okay. So now let us go back to our this thing. Now in this shlok, we talk about Raja because he was now looking at the army of Pandavas, the way they were arranged, he was fearful. And what he did, immediately he went to his commander-in-chief. As per him, the strongest and the most, Dronacharya. And he's saying, look, he's telling something. Now let's look, what does he say? That's in the next shlok. Let's go to the next shlok. Pashyaitam Panduputranam Acharya Mahatim Chamum Vyudham Drupadaputrena Tavshishena Dhimata. Now let's go to the meaning of them. Again, Pashya, Dishtva, Pashya again means to see. Pashya means to see again. Tam means them. Panduputranam. Panduputra, sons of Pandu. Acharya. Acharya is Dronacharya. Mahati. Mahati means great. And Chamu means military force. Chamu means military force. Vyudham. We read the Vyudham also in the last shlok. Vyudham means the arrangement of the army. Drupad Putrena. Now it's a very important word. He's saying Drupad Putrena, son of Drupad. And his name is Drishtadum. What is the name of son of Drupad here? Drishtadum. Instead of saying Drishtadum, he is using Drupad Putrena. Tav Shishyena Dhimata. Tav means your, Shishya means disciple, Thi means intelligent. Thi means intelligent. Dhimata, who is very intelligent. Yeah. Now, which is very intelligent. Now let's see what happens. There's a story why he's saying using the name Drupad Putrena instead of saying Drishtadum. Dronacharya and Drupad, they had gone to same Gurukul. They had grown up together. Drupad was the son of a king and Drona was a Brahmin. He was a poor Brahmin. But Gurukul, everyone is equal. Now, Dronacharya was very, very intelligent. He used to do everything fast. And Drupad always used to take help from Dronacharya. Now, what happened when the time came and they were passing out from the Gurukul, Drupad felt, he was a son of king. He said, okay, listen, Dronacharya, when I become the king, I will give you half my kingdom. I'll give you half my kingdom. Being a Brahmin, normally they are, they are not greedy. He didn't say anything. He said, okay, fine. He didn't ask for that. And they both parted their ways. Down the time, Drupad became the king of Panchal. And Dronacharya was a poor Brahmin. He was teaching and somehow managing his thing. His son was born. Dronacharya's son is Ashwathama. Ashwathama is again a great warrior. Ashwathama was Dronacharya's son. He was born and his wife was Kripi. Dronacharya's wife was Kripi. So in the Kaurava side, there was another Acharya called Kripacharya. Kripacharya's sister was Kripi and who was Dronacharya's wife. Yeah. He was poor to the extent one day his son wanted milk. Ashwathama wanted milk and they didn't have milk to give to Ashwathama. So Kripi, she actually, powdered the rice, added water and gave it to Ashwathama saying, this is the milk. This really hurt Dronacharya a lot. And he remembered his friend. Said, now let me go to Drupad, remind him and ask him at least for a few cows. One cow is enough. At least I'll manage. He now goes back to the Drupad's kingdom. Now when he goes there, Drupad said, who are you? I don't recognize you. You're so poor. How can a poor person, we become friends of equal status. How can you even say that you're my friend? I don't even recognize you. Anyway, since you have come to my darbar, okay, why don't you give him some cows and ask him to go away? That really hurted Dronacharya a lot. He decided to become a rich person. And through Kripacharya, he actually entered into the Kauravas area and Bhishma Pitama, and he became the teacher of Kauravas and Pandavas. He became the teacher of Kauravas and Pandavas. He became a very, very big, very great teacher. He was the greatest of the teachers, greatest in military power. Everyone knew that Dronacharya is the best, and he also taught everything to both Kauravas and Pandavas. And Arjuna was his favorite student. Now, what happened when they graduated? When Kauravas and Pandavas they graduated from Gurukul, Dronacharya asked for a Guru Dakshina. He asked for a Guru Dakshina, and the Guru Dakshina was, go and defeat Drupad and bring him to me. Duryodhana and Kaurava said, we will go first. They went, they failed. They could not. Drupad actually captured Duryodhana. Then Pandavas went. When Pandava went, they actually defeated Drupad and they brought him to Dronacharya. Now, when they brought him to Dronacharya, what happened was, now Drupad said, please forgive me. Dronacharya said, see, I'm not like you. I will forgive you, but you had promised me now half of your kingdom. I'm going to take half of your kingdom. He took half the kingdom, he gave it to Ashwathama, and half the kingdom he returned back to Duryodhana. Now, when Duryodhana went back, when Drupad went back, he was seething with anger. Imagine what a big insult, right? He was seething with anger, and he did a very, very big yajna. He did a very, very big sacrifice, and the motive, the objective of that yajna was to get someone who can kill Dronacharya and to get someone who can win Arjun. And in that yajna, first came Drishtadum. Drishtadum was there to kill Dronacharya, and second was Draupadi, Drupad's daughter, and she married Arjun, through which he befriended Arjun, right? He knew that Arjun is great. right? Because he defeated him. Now, Drishyadhyumna, when he came, now Drupad also knew that there's no better teacher than Dronacharya. So he went to Dronacharya and said, teach my son. Being a Brahmin, for them it's okay. They are forgiving in nature. He agreed. And he also taught, although he knew that he's going to kill me, but he taught him everything that was needed to be taught to him. So Drishyadhyumna again became a very, very great warrior. And now Duryodhana is telling him in this shlok that, see, Drupad's son, so that he inflames the anger in Dronacharya. And second thing, he's also saying, Tav Shishyena Dhimati is your disciple. And he's also indirectly telling him, look, I know that you favor Pandavas. Now, because you had taught all of them, and today he has arranged the whole military in such a way that it's really risky. It's intelligently arranged. So be careful, and it's all your stupidity in a way. He's saying that, right? So this is your Tav Shishyan Dhimati. He's pointing out all these things to Dronacharya by this shlok, right? So now we go to the next shlok. Atra Shura Maheshwasa Bhima Arjun Samayudhi Yuyudhano Viratascha Drupadascha Maharatha. Let's look at the meaning now. Atra means here. Shura means heroes. There are a lot of heroes. Maheshwasa. Now there's a word called Ishu here. Ishu, this word will come many times. Ishu means basically bow, arrow. Yeah. Maheshwasa means mighty bowmen. Mighty bowmen. Bhima Arjun Samayudhi. Like Bhima, Sama is like Bhima Arjun in this Yudhi. Yudhi means in the fight. Yudhano, they are the name of the people. Yudhano, Yudhan is the name of the person. Virat, again the name of the king. Drupad, name of the king. Maharatha, they are Maharathis. Maharathis means those, one person on chariot, they can find multiple thousands and thousands of people together. Yeah, that is the meaning of Maharathis. Yeah. So here, Atra Shura Maheshwasa, it's very easy to here understand the stroke. In this army, in this fight, there are a lot of excellent women who are equivalent to Bhima and Arjun. Sama is equal to Bhima and Arjun. And the name of this are Yudhan, Virat, Drupad, they are the Maharathas, right? I'll tell you something about this shlok. Now, why Duryodhana takes the name of Bhim first? He could have taken the name of Arjun first, right? He was very well aware that if he can be killed, it is the only Bhim who can kill him. There's no one else who can who is capable of killing Duryodhana. Also, Bhim had taken 3 woes. In that Rajmahal, when they had lost the gambling because of cheating of Duryodhana, he had taken 3 woes. Bhim had committed that he will kill all the 100 Kauravas. He had taken a vow that he will kill all the 100 Kauravas. Then he had taken the second that he will break the thigh of Duryodhana, because when Draupadi came, he showed the thigh and said, come and sit here. So he said, I will break the thigh of Duryodhana. And third, I will break open the chest of Dushasan and I will drink all the blood. Because Draupadi had told, she had actually taken bath and she's come out, she had opened her hair. And she said, and through hair that Dushasan has pulled her from there to the palace, and she had promised that unless she'll only clean this with blood of Kauravas, then only she'll tie it. So Bhima had taken this vow. Again, Yuyudhan is also called Satyaki. That name will again come in Gita. So Yuyudhan is also Satyaki. Virat is the one who had actually, yes, when the 1 year of Agyat was there, when they had to, in disguise, they had to spend 1 year. At that time, it was Virat kingdom in which they stayed. And Virat never knew that actually he's supporting them. He never knew about that. Yeah. And Bhim was actually managing the kitchen. Draupadi was actually the maid of the queen. And Arjun was basically teaching to the daughter of Virat, Uttara. And she later married Abhimanyu. He married Abhimanyu, was the son of Arjun. Subhadra and Arjun is Abhimanyu's son. And finally they got Uttara married, right? And Drupad we know. So with this, actually it's now 6 o'clock. I will thank you all for coming on time, and we'll finish also on time. So with this, we will finish today's class. Let us just say Hare Krishna 3 times generally, and then we close the class. Yeah. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. This will now finish our first class.